Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, what I like to do is to create videos that I would have found helpful when I first got out looking for treasure. Things like jewelry or silverware, precious metals of all types. Today's video is actually potentially going to be more than one video. We've been out thrift shopping, so this is the last couple days of stuff that I've gotten. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to see, there's a spoon in here. I want to see if it's silver. I got this diorama thing cheap. I'm not sure what you call these exactly. There's a spoon over there that I don't think is silver. I think it's probably plate, but I just had to know. So we're going to dig that out of there. And then we'll get into this. This is all jewelry that I bought at a thrift shop and a consignment store. And then, if we have time, we will crack these open, which are just a lot of stuff that should be fun to go through. This might end up being 2 videos, depending on how much stuff is in these. But we will see. So, without further ado, just give you a little teaser on what's going on in here, so that you know you might want to stick around or fast forward through trying to get this thing out. Yeah, so a bunch of jewelry. I'm not sure how much you folks like jewelry. I think plenty of my audience very much enjoys it. But we'll go through this jewelry in a minute. And first off, I'm going to try to pry this out of this diorama. So let's go ahead and set this stuff aside. This one's pretty cool. And, you know, I don't know a whole lot about Cameos, but maybe somebody will be able to tell me a little bit about what's going on with that. All right, let's set this stuff aside. And we will have a look at this. So this is definitely a little worse for wear. As you can see, there's a spoon in there that's glued in. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to see if I can just pry this up, maybe. I got a hammer here. I got a little nail. All right, I'm gonna pause because this could take a moment, and I'll be back once I've got the back off. All right, so I think we have gotten this thing far enough that we can accomplish our goal, which is to fish out the spoon. Okay, I suppose that could be repaired later if someone wants it, but we're going to set this down for now. And let's see. So, I assume this is plate, but I don't know. It's very tarnished, that's for sure. Let's see, what does it say here? Made in Portugal. Definitely has a bunch of glue on it still. I don't see any marks other than made in Portugal on it. So I'm thinking this is probably plate. I think if it were actually silver, we would have something other than made in Portugal on it. Well, that's more or less what I expected. Do we have anything underneath that glue, maybe? Sometimes with these European spoons, you'll have marks up on the bowl. But in this case, I do not see any. So we're going to verdict this one as silver plate, which is okay. All right. So we'll set that one aside, and we'll just start going through what else I got at the thrift shop. So this is a $25 pile of stuff. And some things are like like this little pin here, which is Women of Rotary, and the reason I grabbed it is because it's gold fill. And, you know, whenever you find a little piece of gold fill for 25 cents, it goes in the gold fill pile. These, I think I grabbed because they're kind of nice amethysts, but if we flip them over, they were only $2.50. And I don't know if my camera's going to be able to pick it up, but see right there, $9.25. So I thought maybe if my daughter ever gets her ears pierced, she's probably going to like these. And we'll just toss those into my silver earrings bin. Definitely worth $2.50, I think. I mentioned this a moment ago, but we hadn't zoomed in on it yet. One of the things that I noticed about this particular cameo was that it looked like the style was maybe a little newer than a lot of the old ones. My understanding is these are like carved shells. And this one looked like it was maybe a real carved shell, not just plastic like a lot of them are. And my neighbor, for anyone who has been watching me for a while, they know my neighbor supports herself by selling off of Etsy. And she makes some, these days I think mostly she sells a lot of bolos. And I thought this, even if it is plastic, which it might be, would make a good bolo for her. But yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Now that I'm handling it, I think maybe it's plastic. I don't know. Opinions would be welcome. Leave a comment. There was also, at that thrift shop, these. And I know my neighbor, she says, even when she's, one of the things she's always looking for is cameos. Apparently cameos are quite the popular thing. And here, I thought these are probably higher quality. And the reason being, you're probably noticing it here, is that they are gold fill. So my assumption was that these would have been not like obviously the nicest cameos on the planet, but being gold fill, they were definitely better than your average cameo. So those will go over to her. We also grabbed silver. I think this is silver. Sure looks like silver. You've got real nice tarnish, toning even. Looks like somebody cast this and then put the pin on it. I'm guessing probably out of a real leaf. I've seen this quite a bit with silver casters. They'll take a real leaf or bug and then cast that out of sterling silver, which is, I'm pretty certain, what this is. And I just like that a lot, especially for $3. Here we have also $3. And the reason I grabbed this is because, and I highly suggest always looking at bangles, because sometimes they're silver, but oftentimes, well, not oftentimes, but almost equally, I find them actually in gold, which is crazy. I think there's so many bangles that people don't necessarily think about the fact that there could be gold or silver ones in there. That one is not silver. This one is definitely not silver. It's not right. But this one, we're just going to go ahead and separate this one out real quick. Grab my knife. There we go. And let's see, those can go into my reject bin. And the reason I thought this one was silver was the nice tarnish. You can see on the inside there's also very nice looking tarnish. And I think I saw sterling, but I didn't look close at who made it. Oh, there we go. Sterling. So yeah, I think Bo is a pretty decent maker of jewelry. And if you can correct that, I don't know, maybe they make trash tier jewelry, I'm not sure. The few Bo things that I've come across, I've been quite impressed by. So maybe that's just my particular bias playing in there. But I thought for $3, this was definitely worth grabbing. Now this I grabbed because it was $2 and it is $9.25 right there. So I thought for $2, it's not your best bracelet in the world, but I think it'll clean up nice, and I think somebody's going to be happy with that. Guessing those are CZs, maybe. They're pretty sparkly. Definitely worth $2. And then the last $2 piece was this one right here. And this is probably the thing that I'm most curious about. The reason I grabbed it is it looks like the stones are actually set in there. We've got some nice tarnish. Not seeing plate coming through. Maybe, are those maybe lapis? Now I didn't see when I was at the store any kind of markings, but at $2 I figured it was worth the gamble. And you can see where it's gotten dinged up a little bit here and there. It's been around a while. Thought maybe we could find some kind of marking on it somewhere. Is this a marking? Just gonna rub it with my finger there a little bit. No, that was just a smudge. So, don't see anything on that side. Got a ding. Nothing on that side. Nope, I'm not seeing any markings on this one at all. So I think what we'll do is we'll bust out the testing rig, and we'll test that one and that one. And then, pardon the pause there, I've got some remainder of that cold, which had me completely out of commission, is still down in there. And then the last piece of silver, and I say that in quotation marks. I bought this for $7 at a consignment store. And I thought, boy, that looks nice. That sure looks shiny. Does 14K mean silver? Or have we found yet another piece of white gold mistaken for silver? You know, I feel like a lot of people just don't know what white gold is. They just assume it's silver. They don't look at the markings, don't look close, and that's that. So I think we did pretty good on this one. We will break out the test acid here, make sure that this is 14 karat, make sure that these are silver. And then, I don't know, we break out the gem tester. I'm guessing this is probably, given the size, a topaz, but we'll see what the gem tester says. All right, here we go. Let us go ahead and start with the gold. I'm finding the gold is really the easiest thing to test. The silver is a little trickier, but I think I've got a good way to do it. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and take the back there. Pretty clear? Pretty clear, I think. And then we're going to grab our, this thing said it was 14 karat. So we'll grab our 14 karat test acid. Now, if this were not 14 karat gold, what would be happening right now is it would be watching that just straight up disappear. However, what we have here is a positive test for 14 karat, despite being white gold. And for those that don't know, white gold is just a different blend of metals, or alloy would be the correct term. So instead of like with yellow gold, so this is yellow 14 karat gold. These both have 58.5% gold in them, or close to that, depending on, this is from Hong Kong. I'm not sure how accurate this is. But they both basically have 58.5% because that is 14 karat gold. The difference is this is going to have more, depending on what the alloy is, more silver, more nickel, more palladium, more platinum. And this is going to include copper to preserve the gold color. And if you went with something that was like, I don't know if I've got something more like this. See how this is more rosy colored? I think this is gold. I still need to actually go down to the local. I think this is like 9 karat gold, which means that there's a lot more copper in it, which is why it isn't as goldy colored. Or at least rose gold will look like that. We haven't verified this is actually gold yet. But a little thing to note when you're out and about is that this stuff it goes under the radar. In fact, if you've been watching my videos lately, you've probably noticed me grabbing quite a lot of white gold. And the big reason, I'm just neutralizing the acid here. The big reason for that is because it occurred to me after finding some white gold at an antique shop that I should actually be checking our consignment stores and antique shops more regularly. And now that I've been doing that, I've been quite successful, I would say. All right, so that is done. Now let's go ahead and we're going to test this guy right here. Now I'm finding with my silver that I really need to put like a pretty goodly amount on there. So, and I'm not too worried about the back of this, so just make sure there's lots on there. So that's for our leaf. And then whatever this bracelet is, and just to verify this isn't, these are not magnetic. Let's see, what should we do? Maybe this right here. All right. And then that doesn't really do anything other than shine that up slightly. And let's take our silver test acid, which I think is a mixture of nitric and muriatic acid. And these should turn red if we've got sterling, or at least somewhat decent purity silver. And look at that. Yep. So that red color is positive test, and that red color is a positive test. So if anyone can tell me where this came from, I would very much appreciate that. I quite like it, and I think it's pretty cool. Now, one of the tricks that I also read about here is that you can, after you see that red color, you can just sop it up and check for red. Yeah, so we got some red coming through there. And this one we definitely do. Yeah, very obviously red. Let's go ahead and neutralize what we've got left here. And with that, I think we will finish off this video. And then in the next coming days, we'll have one, maybe two. We'll see how fast we can get through these piles of jewelry. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you can find some of this information useful when you're out and about to find yourself some treasure on the cheap. Have yourself a great day.
Like this, I've been Thomas.